Welcome back to the Miami Marlins franchise. We open the day with a 28-36 record here in Season 4. The main goal today is going to be preparing for the MLB draft. We have only a few scouting sessions remaining. I focused this year on scouting more individual players than total position groups because there's so many options at 10 and I'm trying to find who I like the most there. We just wrapped up the progress on the best catcher in this class. It is Damian Turnwall, who is a really good hitter. Defense looks a little bit low, but with these kind of hitting skills, you get why he is the #1 catcher this year. Michael Batista, he goes down the board from 24 to 50. Maybe not an option with either of our first two picks then. I'm also done scouting Jeff Pringle, as this control and strikeout combination to me is just too much work to try and fix. Most of the scouting then has given us info on players that should be available around 10. So far I like Robert Perez a lot. We have an 85 to 95 potential range and projects to be a very well-rounded starting pitcher. I know I need to get a lot more information these last few sessions, so we're going to scout starting pitchers in the Central, right fielders in the East. That's going to give us some info on Theodore DeJong, Juan Guillen, and some others that could be in play with that second pick and later on down the board. I'm also trying to discover some more outfielders and see if we can find a couple more options, because at this point I haven't scouted that many players. If I can have some more choices that we just discover, then maybe I can fill out this class a little bit deeper. At this point, the only big find and discovery this season has been Brad Cooley. I'll probably give him a round of scouting toward the end, but if he's already 9 on our board, I'm probably going to try to take him late. For the starting pitchers, we just have a lot of options that are clustered here in this like 30 to 50 tier where we have 2 selections. So we'll have a lot of pitching data this year. We're probably taking at least 1 in those first 3 picks, maybe 2. The Marlins score a victory against the Washington Nationals, and your favorite pitcher, I can tell from the comments, Jordan Hicks, goes 4 2/3, giving up 4 runs. That signing is probably one of the least popular moves I've made so far in this series. Agustin Ramirez triples in the next game. That would have been a fun sight. Espino goes 7. Very clean outing for him. Oh, Bobby Miller, we meet again. I'm starting to wonder if we have like a bad pitching coach or something, because I've seen so many pitchers succeed leaving us. I'm going to show you some things after this game. For now, Bobby Miller facing us in the 6th inning. It's a 1-run lead for the Nationals. But we got Agustin Ramirez here at the plate. Miller missing inside. So Edward Cabrera is a Cy Young candidate this year. Braxton Garrett might be an all-star. And now Bobby Miller finding good form as a starter in Washington. 3-0. Look at all these 6-inning outings. This is not the Bobby Miller we moved on from. 100. Fouled off by Ramirez. Got him! Up and in with the fastball. Bobby Miller comes back from a 3-0 count. We're not done, though. Otto Lopez is next. Wow, wicked curveball, and he gets ahead. He goes right back to it. All right, Chet, you got to save the day. Generous. Now the curve's in the zone, still way in front of it. And he strikes out the side. Look, we developed Bobby Miller into a good starter. What can I say? He's out of the game now. To right field, that's getting down. Oh, it's foul. And a drive from Norby. That'll take the lead on a 2-run homer. 433 feet. Absolutely crushed that pitch. And again, Bobby Miller is not getting the win against us. 111 off the bat. That's some freaky power there from Norby. something to keep in mind the next time I consider a trade of him. And you know, some trades are going to have to go down this year, where I always end up taking it to like the deadline, it seems. Base hit at Xavier Edwards. You're getting the whole experience here early on, striking out over and over again to Bobby Miller, but then we come back with a homer to take the lead. And this guy, he's hot at the plate right now. We got Hank Holder. After a slow start at the plate this year, he hit 7 homers in just last episode. Basically 7 homers in a month's time. Edwards goes. Pitch is low, and Edwards swipes second base. Last I checked, Hank was 4th in shortstop all-star voting. He still has a chance to make it with another good month. And Hank draws a walk. Evan Carter now trying to put us up a little bit further. Already has a homer today off Bobby Miller. And that's put in the air, right field. It'll stay in the park, though. And now Edwards will try to move up to third base, and does. And of course, Jonah Bride, 2 for 3 with a couple singles on the day. And now cranks one foul. We're going to send Hank here, 0-2. Off the plate, Hank's in there. I'm not going to try to time it up perfectly where I can send Edwards. I'm never going to be able to do that correctly. But we take away a double play and replace it with a strikeout. That might land. Yeah, right. Inning over. Trying to protect this lead. It's the 8th inning. George Soriano is in. 2 down now with C.J. Abrams over at first. Check it out down below. The Marlins are now in 3rd place. Still way back of the Phillies, but better than the Mets so far this season. Ruiz goes down looking. And Hank Holder into center. That one is down for a base hit. And a ground ball from Carter on the next pitch. Gives us 2 aboard in the 9th. And a line out follows. Jonah Bride can't advance the duo. Augustine Ramirez now hitting .261, has 27 RBIs on the year. Could be his big breakout season. It's picked over at first, and that spoils a potential 9th inning rally. Just a 1-run lead then for Jose Alvarado, and man, he's been good this season. He's actually not as rested. I think he's had to close out a few more games lately. Nice change of pace. He played on the 6th and the 7th. I forget if this is currently the 8th, but that would make sense if his energy is less than full. In real life, he just got hit with a 80-day suspension. We are not going to acknowledge that here. 3-2, and he jammed him. Come on, Bride, you got this one. He makes the catch. Man, I'm going to miss Jonah Bride. And Bride continues to show off his defensive prowess. His defensive ratings are pretty terrible, by the way. And now Jacob Young, last hope for the Nats. A strike away. Alvarado tired, time to wrap it up. He struck him out. A perfect cutter. What do you mean he's tired? That was an incredible pitch. And Alvarado continues what could be an all-star season. What a breakout. We've had such good closing situations the last couple years between him and Emilio Pagan. Lots of 2-hit games here for the Nationals and 18 saves now for Alvarado. He just saved all 3 games in this series. That doesn't happen often. 4 consecutive wins for the Marlins, and we sit in 3rd place. The White Sox have called us up. They want Dane Myers. Remember when I said I wasn't going to initiate a trade for Dane Myers, but if someone called me, that would change things. Well, here we go. Corey Lee is what they are offering, and I'm not too interested in Lee. We are going to make a deal with the White Sox and send them Dane Myers for Michael Marlin. Remember when I scouted him a couple years ago? Michael Marlin's an outfielder, well-rounded, but very low potential at just 71. So maybe he becomes a bench outfielder one day. There is some defensive ability there that could come off the bench or just be down at AAA. But we'll trade Dane Myers for Michael Marlin here in this case. You know, management wanted me to start saving some money on this team anyway, so that'll take a few $1 million off of our books. And we're going to be making another call-up today. It is going to be the Marlins 2024 first-round pick. We are bringing P.J. Morlando up to the show. I've been saying that I think he could basically replace Dane Myers' role for a while. He's one of these rare players who can play first base, but obviously a lot more. Have to have a backup there on the major league roster. I knew this year he'd be debuting at some point, and that's going to be right now. His potential, I forget, is either like a 76 or 78, somewhere in that range. So he can continue to develop and push towards that ceiling of his. But I really do see him as kind of a replacement as well for Alek Thomas potentially. I think there are some similarities in their ratings. Morlando's a little bit better against lefties, not as good against righties, but the power is certainly going up this year. So it's time for another debut. I'll have to start changing things up. I can't just have a different player debuting for every thumbnail and title of every episode, but we're going to have like a debut maybe every video for a while. Certainly more on the way this year. You've got Joe Brown coming up at some point. No, I'm not playing with Hank Holder this time. I'm playing with P.J. Morlando. Gonna get the start out in right field. And Morlando gets to watch the first big league home run fly over his head, as it's a key player from the Cardinals franchise, Brandon Marsh. Max Kepler with 2 on, already a rough first inning for Yuri Perez. I saw a comment talking about why I don't talk more about Perez struggles. The big reason is because I'm not going to do anything about it. He's the young star pitcher of this team who's like at his potential. There's not much I can do. I'm not trading him. If I don't trade him, there's nothing left. I can just continue to not sign him is all. But yeah, hopefully he pitches better. This is not a great start. We knew there could be some regression. We saw that in the advanced numbers. His ERA is not as good as it really should be. But here's the young trio at the bottom of this order. You got Sparbori and Keyshawn. First AB, P.J. Morlando. It's time to party. Got the new City Connect uniforms here for the Marlins. Morlando trying to jump on that first pitch. First rounder in 2024, of course. And I'm still getting excited about these higher C potential players like Morlando. And when you think about this team's budget, Morlando lines one. He's got his first hit. It'll be extras. He drives in one. And he's going to head over to third base and get thrown out. I thought they'd throw home. I kind of hesitated there. It's a 2-run double for P.J. Morlando. Yeah, that run did score, thankfully. And with a base running blunder already, I mean, he fits right into this team so well. So the big issue with our pitching staff this year is they throw home run derby balls. You know, pretty inconvenient. Nice catch, Morlando. Perez has already given up a few today. We give up more homers than any other team in baseball. That includes the Colorado Rockies, who have the disadvantage playing in the elevation. Another one for Morlando. He'll make the catch. Mick Abel just debuted in real life the other day. Had a really good start against the Pirates. Inside out. And that is a fielder's choice. I kind of like how I'm handling some of these players that I feel like might not be the most realistic players to trade. Just putting them on the block, and if I get an offer, that's my cue to trade them if I want. So Dane Myers now at the White Sox. There's an extra year of team control as well. And he is good enough to play for them too. It started off awful for Yuri Perez, and now here he is trying to go 6. But a sharp base hit from Jesse Winker. Can he get out of the inning? Nope, they take him out immediately following, and Jose Hernandez cleans up. Feels good to be on that pitch. Really enjoying hitting this year. The camera change has been a breath of fresh air I've been looking for. But now 0-2. Can we come back? Sure enough, we can. It's 3-2. Keishel can run with the pitch. And it is a 2-out walk. Xavier Edwards, excellent year now that he's healthy and playing every day again. Hitting .301. And he puts this one just into left field. And we're going to hold here as the run will score. Luke Keishel comes home, 6-4 Miami. The offense started off pretty awful this season, but I think that we've gotten such a spark from the youth on this team. And then with Edwards getting healthy, Holder not struggling, now you're getting the type of team that I thought we could have at the beginning. But the thing is, we're going to have Orlando come around now. Hank Holder with an RBI single. That's a smooth slide, too. The thing is this isn't a caliber of team that can handle a rough first 30 games and still get by. We had to play more consistently and not have a completely terrible month where we're worst in the league in multiple categories. Maybe I can still be disproven. We get closer and closer to 500. But we'll see where things end up. I'm happy here in the moment with where the team is at. First left on left at bat for PJ Morlando. Let's put that in center field. It's a fly out. Alvarado comes in and slams the door on the Phillies. We've had their number this season. Miami victorious. And another young part of this organization has made it to the majors. I can't believe Perez got the win after all of that. Jonah Bride goes yard. Morlando 1 for 3 in his debut. Primarily, though, he is going to be coming off the bench most days. I'm wondering if I'm ready for another player to come up. I've been waiting for Joe Mack to come around this year. Be that true backup catcher. I love where the defense is with him, and he's a 70 overall with C potential. I thought this was his year, and in his last 10, he's been turning it up. A bunch of multi-hit games, went yard 2 days ago. He's playing really well. And we are now going to be trading a player I've really liked having throughout this series. It's Esteury Ruiz, who joined us after the first offseason in the franchise. He played at a pretty high level for us a year ago, but he is a free agent after this season. And he's going to turn 30. With our team not really in a playoff situation now, we need to continue cycling players through and getting younger and move on to the next group of players. I like Ruiz a lot, but we're going to move on and send him to the Houston Astros. And I am targeting outfielder Damian Kaufman. Kaufman is a power-first outfielder, and not much else in his rating stands out. But what I like is that he has speed, stealing, and base running ability. So if we want to run this back and basically have another speedy bench outfielder that starts occasionally, we can have a player like Kaufman who brings a little bit different skill set than Esteury Ruiz. Now, the defense isn't great, and that probably lowers the upside on him tremendously. His potential's in the low C range, but I think it's a pretty even value here. And it gives us another young player in the outfield. And for those of you that wanted to see me do something more at catcher, we are going to be working on that now. Joe Mack is going to get bumped up to the major leagues now. And I look at him as more the true backup catcher. And then Cole Carrig, the guy that can do so much stuff but doesn't have to be the primary backup catcher anymore. So I'm going to change Carrig's primary position then to like right field or something. Just so when Ramirez does need the off day, they play Mac. I don't want him called up for nothing. But another player is moved up to the show today. And we can still cover every position on the bench then. We have Marlando, who can play first and third. Carrig ends up being a backup shortstop, can play the whole outfield, and then Connor Norby. So we have reshaped the bench a little bit now. We do lose some of our base stealing upside, but we don't lose much in terms of pinch running, as Norby was only 2 speed less than Ruiz. The stealing rating, though, just makes him not much of a stolen base option. Kaufman, by the way, who we just added, is not going to crack our top 20 prospects. We're going to make a prospect swap now with the Rockies and send them Yidi Cape, who is now up to a C potential, which basically means like 70 or 71. He had D potential before, but we're going to acquire another catcher now that can play down at AAA, and I think even has ratings that could get him up at the majors one day, but he only has 70 potential. That's Dario Laverde. That's our third trade of the episode. Week 11 of 14 in the scouting department now. We discovered exactly one outfielder this week. Can we make this one count? I think we did, actually. Lon Schaefer, 83rd on the board, not ranked on the MLB board. A left-handed hitting outfielder from the state of Florida. Really good speed, reaction, fielding has high upside. Not a very strong arm. He's actually 6'4", 228. One of the biggest prospects I've even found amidst all these 5'7" players that I've drafted many times. I'm interested in Schaefer. We have a starting pitcher here who's 91st on the board and unranked on the MLB. It's Johnny O'Donnell. Might be more of a late round guy, but we need options like him in those later rounds. And then really good sign here with Theodore DeJong on the first scouting pass here, but only 19% motivated to sign. Still, big power, a lot of speed. 5'7" fits right into our team. And then how about the potential range here we're seeing on Juan Guillen at 79 to 90? Now, the starting point, again, might be a bit low. That's the trend we've seen, especially with these outfielders. We have so many outfielders that could be really good 4 years from now. We're going to scout the central second baseman as well, because, like, all the good ones are there. Hey, look at Jordan Hicks go, everybody. He's about to go 6 innings, scoreless against the Phillies. We just got to get Jesse Winker out, and with his pitch count, he might be able to go further. So, again, let me reiterate part of the Jordan Hicks thesis. Let me sell you on Jordan Hicks here the way I tried to sell you on Luke Weaver 2 years ago. So, I like the value of the contract, and I like the season he had a year ago. I think we're ascending, but I don't know exactly. Oh, Doug Butcher projected as the first overall pick. That's good info down below. We're ascending as a team, right? But I don't know when we could be wild card viable, really. I thought maybe this year, maybe next. So I signed Jordan Hicks to a 2-year deal because I thought the contract was good. And that he would be a player that helped fit in to us attempting to make a wild card run without having to trade to acquire somebody. So I know it takes a spot away from somebody else who could be pitching at the majors right now. But that was the basic premise. I wanted to have more than just Yuri Perez and 4 developmental guys. Now that we're in Season 4, I'm attempting to straddle that line between full-on rebuild and trying to compete. So, Hicks was our move, and for the most part, it hasn't worked out. But this start, obviously one of his best, as we continue to approach a 500 record. Under it is Max Kepler, and it's Norby getting more starts now in right field. So what do you guys think of the moves so far today? Whoa! Tyler Stevenson right center. Norby chasing it as it bangs off the wall for a one-out double. We might make a move. That was really nasty contact on a pitch I thought was going to be away. All right, good day for Jordan Hicks. Let's go put in Jose Hernandez now. And his season just gets better and better every time we check in with a 2.09 ERA now. A 1-2 pitch and just inside. Hernandez with the count even. Now we're going slider and he takes it. Locate this fastball. No, it is off the outside edge, and the Phillies are rallying with 2 on. Backdoor slider, a little up, but in there for strike 2. Hernandez into right field now, and they will hold the runner and load the bases now. It's Brandon Marsh. And players who have been part of my past franchises have certainly, wow, he puts the bunt down. What a play. Tie game. Ball. We just tried a little overrated chant on Bryce Harper, but the fans only wanted to give him like 1 round of it. They didn't want to go too heavy. Fishing, it's even now. I'm pitching around Bryce the whole way here. It's going to be the last batter for Hernandez.
We got a full count.
Full count. Either the slider gets it done or it won't. Strike 3. Nicely done. Ooh, look at this season for Piamps. 103 ERA. I think we got to work on that a little bit. Oh, Carter, come on. Wait, what does that say down below? Wins leaders, Garrett Cole. The Chicago White Sox have 2 of the top win leaders in the American League. Are the White Sox good now? No way they are going to out-rebuild us in this series. I won't allow it. Fly ball, left center field. Piamps wins that battle. Hey, it's Joe Mack. Didn't play his debut, but here is the new backup catcher. I had to wait a little bit longer to get him up to the majors, but this is why I haven't made another move. I felt Mack would give us really good defensive ability, complement Ramirez well. And if he had to start, I believed in him. He's under it on a fly ball to right that stays in the park. I'm a little hesitant to put in Gates here, but the bullpen's a little taxed right now. But it seems that the last stretch of games have been going better for Gates. Gave up a few runs in his first 2 appearances, so the ERA ain't going to look good for a while. And now Trey Turner leads off the 8th. Bounced up the middle. Carrig is the shortstop, and Turner too speedy. What's up with no one wanting to sit right behind home plate? Just move up. Why would you just stay there in the 4th row?
1-0.
Turner wants second now, and he was going to steal it anyway. Gates does not do well, though, with runners in scoring position, as you can tell. Slider gets away from Mack. His pitching clutch is very low. So Turner at 3rd. Not good here for Gates. Dude, you can't control this slider. You're not throwing that anymore. Base hit left field. Turner's going to come home, and there's still nobody out in the 8th. We'll see if Dylan Coleman can fix things. He hasn't been in great form lately, but he comes in now. Maybe should have started this inning off. Kepler grounds it for Lopez. We will turn 2. Nice cutter in. And with Coleman, I love this filthy slurve. Just kind of a challenge to locate it sometimes. Fly ball. And the Phillies will grab the lead by 1. I wanted to get Cole Carrick a few more at-bats, too. The offense has been really impressive this year. Just don't usually get him every day at-bats. 76 at-bats on the year for Cole Carrick with a .329 average. He's under this slider. And in center, it's run down. That's through. Another hit for Xavier Edwards. Norby's hitting cleanup today. I think Holder might be getting the day off. That's the right idea. Up the middle and off the wrist. A lucky bounce here. The grounds crew helps us out. And that is a base hit, actually, for Connor Norby. So it keeps the inning alive for Jonah Bride. Man, hard to sit back on sliders right now. Gets away from the catcher and everybody's advancing. Now we really got to make this one count. He keeps throwing sliders. I have to show discipline. 5 consecutive, the count's full. And they're just going to walk him now. And they will load the bases. And I think here we are going to be pinch hitting. And I want to get Hank Holder into the game. We got to bring him off the bench for this one. It's time to untie the game, Hank. He has 38 RBIs on the season. Hit a grand slam last episode. A cutter this time is in for strike 1. And now fouled off 0-2. Just off the corner. Got him on a slider out in front. 2 gone now for the Phillies. They'll make a pitching change. Oh, they're going Helsley right now. I love that move. And it brings up P.J. Morlando with the bases loaded. Wow, Ryan Helsley. We've seen that 102 fastball a few times this year, so it can't catch me by surprise. What am I doing with that? Morlando misses the 101 mile per hour fastball. Swung through it. 1-2. Line drive into the gap. Morlando comes through. He'll take second, and he's going to clear the bases. And the Marlins take a 4-2 lead on P.J. Morlando's 3-run double. We got the breaking ball that time. He didn't throw as many fastballs in that at-bat as I expected. Another intentional walk. They want nothing to do with Evan Carter. And they'd rather face Joe Mack in this spot. Oh, I swung, but everybody's moving up. I think we should ban the slider the rest of this game. No one's actually throwing it accurately. Full count on Mack. Got him! 103! Reach back for his fastest of the inning there, but we have taken the lead. P.J. Morlando. How about that moment? Welcome to Morlando, Florida, everybody. We are now going to shuffle some things around as Hank Holder's off day can resume. Morlando into the outfield, Keishel to third. I'm happy with that. And just the guy Phillies fans want to see right now. We got Jose Alvarado entering 19 of 20 on save attempts this year. Man, he's been phenomenal. Reaching a peak here later in his career. Just incredible stuff. Keishel on the one-pitch ground out. You know, we have a phenomenal offseason program here. Really helps players get into the right shape and state of mind for the full grind of a 162-game season. We know just what the players need. 0-2. That's a base hit now. Brandon Marsh, 1 on. That is swung on and missed. Got him on a sinker. Strike 3. But now it's going to come down to Bryce Harper. Nice clip of the outside edge. And a line drive in front of Morlando, and he can't cut it off. Carter now backing up with superior speed, and a run will score, and the Phillies are now within 1. They'll bring Trey Turner to the plate to try and tie it. Fouled off the cutter. Probably going to go back to that when we get to 2 strikes. Or maybe we won't get there. Turner into the corner. And the game is tied. The Phillies have come back. And Alvarado blows the save. Alec Boehm. Yeah, we'll walk him to get to the lefties. Second blown save of the year. He wasn't fully rested. Again, he's been getting more and more chances lately. Now we got to get out of this. Morlando doesn't win the game after all.
That's ball 2.
Why not? Everything's close, but nothing getting called. Might make a pitching change after this at-bat, especially with where his confidence meter is. Assuming we don't get Jesse Winker. He walks. Man, what do you do with who's left? I don't trust Curry in this spot, Enriquez in this spot. I think I got to go with Soriano and just say, get 1 out. I don't think we're set up well for extra innings today either, so we need to get this to the 9th and end it. Bases loaded, Max Kepler, and he's ahead. We can't afford to let him walk. It's low. Soriano can't find a strike. Just throw it right down the pipe. That's 1. 3-1. Good pitch, and now biggest of the day. 3-2. He walked him, and the Phillies take the lead. What a take for Max Kepler. We're getting nothing close on the zone, though. Popped up. That's lucky. Man, I was riding so high after the Morlando hit, and now we've got to go and do this again. Who's getting the 9th inning? They're leaving Helsley out there. Interesting. So he has a blown save, but now a chance at the victory. But we know he's already pitched an inning, so we're going to force him to show he can still command. Full count. You know you want the leadoff man up in this spot. Outside at 103. The only bench player remaining is catcher Agustin Ramirez, so we're playing who we got out there. And we're just letting him throw fastball after fastball. Very patient right now. 24 saves on the year for Helsley. So you got 2 of the best closers in the NL this year who both blow saves in the same game. That doesn't happen often. Carrig, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Bad throw. Everybody safe. What a job with the glove, and what a screw up with the arm by Alec Boehm. 2 on for Xavier Edwards now. All right, Xavier, let's square something up nice here. Inside. Line to left. Caught. 1 away for Philadelphia. So now we really got to be careful about putting something on the ground again. And we get Connor Norby now. Jonah Bride would be next. I feel like if he gets this out, they could make a change for the next at-bat. I really don't want that. I don't want a new pitcher for 1 at-bat. I need this at-bat to do something. Grounded foul! Just ahead. Off the plate, he's about to throw his 30th pitch of the game. Can he put it in the zone? No, he can't. Loaded for Jonah Bride. And it doesn't seem this is triggering a pitching change. Here he is, one of the MVPs of the series. Can he come through in the 9th inning? By him at 102.
0-1's the count.
Ooh, chased one elevated. And it's in there, strike 3. He's been throwing that slider so much outside, and I was kind of waiting for another one. So now Luke Keeschel, bases loaded. Hoping to at least tie things up. Keeschel, he gets a hold of one. Left center, chase down. Phillies win it. Got a curveball up, and Helsley's able to get it done after all. What a late rally for them against Jose Alvarado. That one really stings. Oh no! Chet Sparbory sustained an injury and broke his shin during today's game. That's going to be a lengthy injured list stint for Chet Sparbory. He had been playing fairly well. He was hitting .264, not a ton of extra base hits, not drawing a lot of walks, but the bat-to-ball skills were translating early. And he's now going to be out for quite some time, and we could see him down the road maybe in September to finish the season. With that, I think Alek Thomas gets more reps in center, and PJ Morlando is probably going to get a lot more playing time now in the corner. Norby is also an option, but Morlando's a guy I want to get some at-bats. I wanted to get a pitching game in with Jorge Vizcaíno soon. I'm going to look to do that next episode. I'd like to get us a little bit closer to the draft, as we haven't covered a whole lot of games yet today. We're going to take a series, though, from the Padres first and foremost, with Thomas White going 8 innings in this game. William Lyon is now hurt. Another player goes down 1 to 2 months with a shoulder injury. And with this roster spot opened up, I am looking to have Johnny Grieve now rejoin the Major League team. He's only been down at AAA for a couple weeks, but he has hit the ball pretty well. Again, not many extra base hits, but he's been on base a ton. And I'm actually looking to have him kind of replace Otto Lopez a bit, who has been a very poor hitter this season. He's regressed a lot. His average with runners in scoring position is way down, and with his batting clutch, that's usually something that we've relied upon in past seasons. So Lopez, taking a big step back, will now be heading to the bench as Grieve returns. And with every little move I've been making here, this team is getting younger and younger. Now seeing Keeschel and Grieve in the everyday lineup, and then guys like Mack and Morlando, Carrig coming off the bench. Marlins win 3 against the Padres, and Hank Holder has himself a big day. He goes 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs. And I love seeing all those multi-hit games for Carter, Thomas, Keeschel, Mack, Grieve, 3 for 6, Hank Holder. Another week of scouting now in the books. We're getting a lot of information now down the stretch. For the starting pitchers, we have a little movement here. Lester Clark is flying up the board. Love to see that. Pablo Carrillo also going up the board. A home run preventing righty. So we should have plenty more pitching options, continuing to add on to what we already have in the minor leagues. Here are the second basemen, and we have Kenny Jackowicz really tumbling down the board pretty hard. And no one taking a huge move up, although I'm seeing a good potential range here on Neil Snowden. We'll see if that continues to look good after another session. I'm probably not changing anything here, rather just checking in to see what we're finding. We got swept by the Giants, but then come back to sweep Arizona, and it was a low-scoring series that saw our pitching dominate. Max Meyer goes 7 in Game 1. Then we have Evan Carter put up some offense, and Perez goes 6 1/3. Followed up by a start seeing Jordan Hicks go 5, no runs allowed. Noble Meyer is now healthy again. Recovered from his injury, and he can resume starting at AAA then. And we have to think about when he's going to come back up to the major leagues. Really, all these pitchers at AAA have been excellent this season. It's just finding guys who can make that jump cleanly that's been tough. He might be replacing Thomas White here pretty soon, as this year is not starting off well for him. He's given up 6 homers in 24 innings, 7 runs in one of his recent outings. Not very clean. All right, we've made some progress today. We're 41 and 44. We've made a couple trades. And next episode, we're going to be doing the MLB draft, and that's probably going to be coming your way, I would imagine, tomorrow. I've been doing a lot of these back-to-back uploads here in the series, primarily during the week, and I want to continue doing that. 14 home runs now for Jonah Bride and Hank Holder lead the team. Evan Carter with 11, as his average has climbed significantly in recent games. Johnny Grieve was called back up today, and the extra base hits have finally shown up, and he is on a 10-game tear. Absolutely crushing it. It seems like Johnny's season is now back on track. Can't wait to play with him again next episode. Luke Keeschel is still hot, and we're talking 209 at-bats. That's pretty significant, and he's continuing to show he's ready for this. Going down to the AAA level, Aaron Jackson not playing all that well in his first 20 games at AAA. Joe Brown, not a ton of extra base hits, not like you'd think. Just a little bit ago, he still only had 1 in like his first 15, 20 games. But in his recent stretch, now we're picking things up, knocking on the door of his major league debut. We're also going to be giving Noelvi Marte a chance later on this year at the majors. He's played extremely well. We were lucky to have a chance to add him, and he's been one of the best players down at AAA this season. So he'll be one of our next experiments. Maybe a bench player next season. He'll try to establish some value, but we got to think about how we have Connor Norby as well, whose primary spot is third base. Defense isn't great. Can we have a couple guys there on the team that are only filling in a couple roles? Drew Jones is now a 74 overall, getting some pretty good development now across the board. We have used all his options, so this is kind of his last stretch at AAA. And for that, I'd like him to stay down pretty much all season. And then next year, we know we can't be sending him down any longer. Yep, as expected, that home run rate for Perez has his numbers falling now. The ERA is now in the 4s. Actually, negative .7 WAR. Because he's lost a lot of strikeouts and gained a ton of home runs against. Then you have Jordan Hicks, who is trending more in the right direction. 7 homers allowed in his last 50 innings. We've gotten some pretty solid outings, so at least that one is in a better spot now, and he's at a .3 WAR on the season. And then ever since I interrupted Max Meyer's hot streak, it hasn't quite been the same for him. He does now go up to an 83 overall, but the numbers have me questioning if an extension really makes sense for us. Vladimir Ortiz, top prospect at pitcher in the organization, is now a 67, developing very nicely, still just 19 years old. He has 85 strikeouts and 97 innings. And next episode, we will check on Jorge Vizcaíno. He's sporting a 2-8 win-loss record. Now a 69 overall. Haven't seen velocity get any better, but control has. He does have 78 strikeouts. Doesn't allow many home runs. We've been improving the offense a lot lately, and the batting average has climbed from near the bottom or at the bottom to 22nd, thanks to players like Hank Holder getting hot and so many good young player contributions. The scoring continues to climb. We're now right at league average. And thanks to Xavier Edwards returning, we're now 22nd in on base. So I feel pretty good about the state of the offense. The pitching ERA actually improved today, but it's still league worst at 4.7. The Rockies have actually improved quite a bit. Hank Holder is still 4th in All-Star voting, so I don't think he'll hit that goal I had this year, but maybe when he's 20 he can be an All-Star. Darryl Ingram, meanwhile, he's got more votes than almost anybody this season. 24 home runs, absolutely taking off this year, and now just 1 overall lower than Hank Holder. Edward Cabrera leads the AL in All-Star voting. This is a pretty wild development. He was very shaky for a number of years, and now this season in Texas, 114 strikeouts, 10.3 strikeout per 9 innings, a career best. The walk rate is now also a career best. And the Rangers are going to have to think about re-signing him after an amazing season like this. Then Braxton Garrett might not be an all-star, but he's kind of borderline. 87 overall. He's become a really good number 3 in that rotation they have in Arizona right after Zach Gallen. And his numbers are pretty phenomenal this year, barely allowing home runs. That's only 3 in 87 innings. Bobby Miller, meanwhile, he's with the Nationals now, and his ERA is under 4, even after the struggles he had at the beginning of the season with us. He's already been nearly a 1-WAR player, and it looks like he's given the Nationals more good outings than bad. That's shocking. Our entire coaching staff is going to be hitting free agency this next year, so I might be looking in some different directions when it comes to the next hiring cycle. I mean, I got good coaches, but when things don't go well and you see all these players leave and play even better, it makes me want to make some changes. Just not sure yet what those changes need to be. But thank you all for watching the episode. We are playing some good baseball right now. Love seeing all the hot streaks and can't wait to see what the second half of the season brings our way. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more Marlins franchise. Check the playlist down below too for any episodes you may have missed, and I'll see you all next time.